There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. Maya Angelou. Write what should not be forgotten. Isabel Allende. The first draft is just you telling yourself the story. Terry Pratchett. If there's a book that you want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. Toni Morrison. Writing is like driving at night in the fog. You can only see as far as your headlights, but you can make the whole trip that way. E.L. Doctorow. Writing a book is like rearing children. You labor over it, and then send it out into the world, hoping for the best. Anne Lamott. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Mark Twain. A writer without a publisher is like a fish without a bicycle. Jeanette Winterson. To publish a book is to invite criticism. You can't stop it, so don't let it stop you. Seth Godin. Publishing a book is like stuffing a note into a bottle and hurling it into the sea. Some bottles drown, some come safe to land, where the notes are read and then possibly cherished, or else misinterpreted, or else understood all too well by those who hate the message. Margaret Atwood. Writer's block is a fancy term made up by whiners so they can have an excuse to drink alcohol. Steve Martin. You can't plow a field simply by turning it over in your mind. Gordon B. Hinckley. The scariest moment is always just before you start. Stephen King. The art of writing is the art of applying the seat of the pants to the seat of the chair. Mary Heaton Vorse. I think writer's block is simply the dread that you are going to write something horrible. But as a writer, I believe that if you sit down at the keys long enough, sooner or later something will come out. Roy Blount Jr. I write entirely to find out what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at, what I see, and what it means. Joan Didion. If you want to be a writer, you must do two things above all others: read a lot and write a lot. Stephen King. A writer is someone for whom writing is more difficult than it is for other people. Thomas Mann. An author ought to write for the youth of his own generation, the critics of the next, and the schoolmasters of ever afterward. F. Scott Fitzgerald. An author is somebody who creates a world, and a writer is somebody who discovers it. Carl Sandburg. Amazon changed the rules, but the game remains the same: write a great book. Hugh Howey. Amazon is not the enemy. It's a machine that can get your work in front of more eyeballs. David Corcoran. Publishing on Amazon is like walking into a casino. You never know if you'll hit the jackpot, but the possibility is exhilarating. Anonymous. Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing gave me the opportunity to become an author and reach readers worldwide. Bella Forrest. With Amazon, a writer can reach readers directly without having to go through the traditional gatekeepers. Joe Conrath. Writing is the painting of the voice. Voltaire. I write to give myself strength. I write to be the characters that I am not. I write to explore all the things I'm afraid of. Joss Whedon. The role of a writer is not to say what we can all say, but what we are unable to say. Anaïs Nin. Writing is a way of talking without being interrupted. Jules Renard. You can always edit a bad page. You can't edit a blank page. Jodi Picoult. The reward of publishing is the sound of rolling coin. Ezra Pound. Writing a book is an adventure. To begin with, it is a toy and an amusement. Then it becomes a mistress, and then it becomes a master, and then a tyrant. Winston Churchill. Writing a book is a horrible, exhausting struggle, like a long bout of some painful illness. George Orwell. The worst thing about new books is that they keep us from reading the old ones. Joseph Joubert. A book is a dream that you hold in your hand. Neil Gaiman. The scariest moment in writing is just before the start. Stephen King. The only way to deal with writer's block is to write your way through it. James Scott Bell. Lower your standards and keep writing. William Stafford. Writer's block is just a symptom of feeling like you have nothing to say, combined with the rather weird idea that you should feel the need to say something. Hugh MacLeod. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. Maya Angelou. You must write every single day of your life. You must lurk in libraries and climb the stacks like ladders to sniff books like perfumes and wear books like hats upon your crazy heads. Ray Bradbury. A professional writer is an amateur who didn't quit. Richard Bach. A writer lives, at least, in a state of astonishment. Mary Oliver. The role of the writer is not to say what we can all say, but what we are unable to say. Anaïs Nin. The best time for planning a book is while you're doing the dishes. Agatha Christie. Amazon Publishing has democratized the publishing industry, giving authors direct access to readers worldwide. Bella Andre. Amazon gives writers the opportunity to reach a vast audience, making it possible to turn a hobby into a career. H.M. Ward. The Kindle has changed the way people consume books, creating new opportunities for indie authors. David Corcoran. Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing has given indie authors the power to control their publishing destiny. Hugh Howey. Amazon has empowered authors to take charge of their creative work and build their own literary empires. Mark Coker.